Alrighty, hello everybody and welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be playing a FNAF visual novel based on the Fazbears Fright story, Count the Ways. Yeah, so I was trying to figure out what to do for a video, and I decided to look up, I wanted to see if there was any FNAF visual novels. I mean, there kind of are, but not really. And this is one of the ones I found. Yeah, someone made a visual novel based on the Count the Ways Fazbears Fright story. So this should be pretty interesting. And if you guys know about the story of Count the Ways, then you should probably know how this goes. So, yeah, with that being said, let's jump straight into a new game. And, hey, where's my water bottle? Because I will need it, because I'm going to be reading a lot, so. Alright. Her name is MILLIE Fitzsimmons, a teenage girl who has always had an eye for death. It's Christmas Eve. However, while your family are opening the presents and eating their food, you sneak out. You walk around your yard aimlessly, till your eyes wander upon your grandfather's work shed. It's old, and you have always avoided entering it. Something about its old wooden frame and odd appearance never quite sat right with you. But anywhere is better than there, you think to yourself. As your hand rests on the door, you hesitate to push it open. Something feels off, but you ignore the feeling and wander inside. Hello, Fun Freddy. I like how your grandpa just has an animatronic in his shed. We're not going to explain how he got there. Probably not, but anyway. You went through the old work shed. A layer of dust filled the air. Grandpa visits here often, and yet it feels as if it hasn't been cleaned in months. The small building is filled with items, old rusty tools, nails, and a whole manner of salvaged objects, and yet one object stands above the rest. Yeah, that 7 to 8 foot tall animatronic just sitting there menacingly, yeah. It was a bear, a mechanical one, like something you would see at a kid's party. It was rusted and dirty, worn and clear not in good shape. Its color had faded, and there was something so uncanny about it. It was certainly lifeless, and yet it looked as if it was staring at your appearing. It looked as if it was staring at your appearing straight into your soul. An eerie grin played on its rusted head. Its chest was purple, and yet had seemed to have shifted to the side, leaving a gaping dark hole in its stomach. It was an odd thing. Your grandfather must have brought it from the salvage yard to tinker with. He did. So all that time, and yet something about this bear just felt different to everything else. With your brain plagued with thoughts of curiosity, you walk towards the bear. As you near towards the robotic bear, its gaping stomach becomes more and more intriguing. Why did this children's animatronic have such a dark, empty place right on its stomach? You peer inside the chest cavity. You lean towards the bear's stomach to take a closer look. When you feel something strong and cool like metal coil around your arm, you try to recoil back, but simply don't move. Before you can even scream, your entire body suddenly lunge forward into the inky dark blackness before you. Oh, we're inside of Fun Freddy now. Yeah, if you know how the story ends for Count the Ways, then yeah, you know where this is going. You open your eyes slightly, expecting to see the roof of your grandfather's shed. Instead, you simply see darkness, as if you've never even opened your eyes. You try to move, but are trapped perfectly in place. As your eyes begin to readjust, you find yourself in a small, cramped crawl space, kind of whirring surrounds you. Well, if it isn't Millie, Millie Fitzsimmons. Silly Millie, chilly Millie, the ice-cold goth girl, always dreaming of death, am I right? Who are you? Where are you? Crap. I skipped that by accident. Yeah, I skipped that by accident. Whoops. Why, I'm right here, silly Millie. Or should I say, you're right here. You're trapped in my stomach cavity. In my crawl space, just big enough to fit you in. You're the bear? Alright. You can just think of me as your friend. Friend to the end. We just have to decide if that end is gonna be quick or slow. I don't understand. You will understand very soon, Chilly Millie. You goth girls crack me up, all dressed like professional mourners, dreaming of death, like he's the lead singer of some boy band. And when you meet him, it'll be love at first sight. Well, I'm here to grant your wish, Millie. I like a genie. Like a genie, except you're the one in the bottle. I want to get out now. Let me out. Nonsense. You gotta stay right here while we plan out your dream date with death. The choice is all yours. But it'll be my pleasure to present you with some options. Options of how to die. Exactly. Right, girl, that you are. Now I like to call the first of options the lazy choices. These are easy for me, but not so easy for you. Slow with lots of suffering. First option is dehydration. No water at all. You'd start dying in, say, 3 days, maybe more. You're young and healthy, so I bet it aren't taking a while. Depriving the body of water has fascinating effects. With no fluids coming in the filter, flush, getting shut down, and your body starts poisoning itself, making you sicker and sicker. Once the toxins have time to build up, you could have total organ failure. Or a heart attack, but that's death for you. So romantic. Are you making fun of me? Of course not, Millie. I like you. That's why I'm granting your wish. Starvation is another classic too, but that's really a slow-moving train. It takes weeks. Some people have even lasted months. How does that sound, eh? It'll never work. Grandma comes here to putter around after dinner every night. Oh, bang and scream and you'll find me. Oh, silly Millie. Let's just say the ability to keep pull in here was never an unintentional design choice. So scream all you want, lamb chop. It's soundproof. Besides, after a few days, you'll be weak. You'll be too weak to scream. Oh, interesting. This kind of gives a little bit of insight into the FNAF lore. If you think about it. Oh, I almost forgot. I also had an idea about freezing you to death. I thought I could shut the power off in the room, and my chest cavity can get pretty cold. But Grandpa would probably notice that the power was out in his previous workshop, and I'd have to fix it right up. So that's a no-go. Sorry if you had your heart set on that one, Cupcake. I don't understand. Why do you want to kill me? Interesting you ask, firstly. It's something to do. I sat at the salvage yard for ages, but before grandfather found me, where I just sit here, I'm bored at my skull, but that I have one. Isn't there something you can do besides kill people? Not so interesting. Besides, death is what you want. You've been mourning since you moved here about how you want to die. Well, I want to kill people, and you want to die. It's like those birds that pick the dirt of rhinoceroses. The bird gets to eat, and the rhino gets clean. A win-win. But I don't want to die. Not really. I just wanted something to change. That's how it is, right? Talk is always easier than action. Silly Millie. For someone who doesn't want to die, you spend an awful amount of time talking about it. Besides, it's ultimately much easier and satisfying to snuff it out. Now, that brings me back to the next set of options, much more interesting ones. These are, for the most part, quick and easy for you, but difficult for me. But they're awfully satisfying. Besides, there's nothing more than a good challenge. Now you're a Dracula fan, right? Kids even call you Dracula's daughter at school, don't they? Well, you may know that Dracula is based on a real person in history. Vlad Dracula, but he's better known by his nickname, Vlad the Impaler. Vlad killed thousands of his enemies, but his crowning achievement was creating a forest of the impaled. Thousands of his victims were displayed like trophies. Men, women, and children skewered by sticks. Is that true? I'm not sure if that's true or not. You're gonna have to let me know if that's true or not in the comments below. Also, sorry if I'm taking too long to read. It's kind of hard to read it's kind of hard to read, so apologies for that. I can't live up to that level of achievement, but I can send one of my rods to my stomach cavity and straight through yours and out the other side. If the rod hits one of your vital aura ends, death comes quickly. If not, there could be some hours of suffering. People who walk through the forest of the impaled would often comment on the moaning and gasping of victims. So impaling, some might say, the other options. I'm impale in comparison. No. Shame. I just thought impaling had sort of dramatic flair, but there are plenty of other options. Electrocution is an effective option. Did you know that the idea of the electric chair was thought of by a dentist? Alfred P. Sollick based the design of the dentist chair, hardly comforting to someone with a phobia of dentists. I could send an electric current straight through my stomach. If you were lucky enough, I suppose unlucky enough, you could survive with some nasty burns. With help, you could even make a recovery. But as I've already said, there isn't any help coming. So, what do you think, Cupcake? Electrocution? You'd be shocked at how effective it is. It's an electrifying good time. Good time for you, not for me. Oh my, we certainly are picky. Are a picky one. For someone who wants an end result for awfully picky about how you get there, but there are a lot of more options. I feel like later walking through the menu, one menu gets you fed and the other gets you dead. Speaking of food, it could boil you alive. King Henry made boiling people alive the official form of execution in his time. Funny how they call it boiling alive. God knows I don't stay alive for very long. I have water stores in my body to keep my servers cool, but I could flood my chest cavity with it and use my energy stores to bring the temperature up and up and up. First it would feel like a nice bath, but it would just get hotter and hotter and hotter. What if you would just turn red like a lobster? Please, don't boil me alive. Suppose that's fair. It's eternally awful way to go. People in Henry's time said they would have rather seen a beheading. Oh, that's a good one. we haven't talked about decapitation. Time for another water break, because my throat is dry. Good lord. There are many ways to chop off a head. The blade is sharp enough, of course. It is very quick and painless. That being said, if the blade isn't sharp enough, well, poor old Mary Queen of Scots had to have 3 chops to act before her head was liberated from her body. I like how we're getting history lessons throughout this visual novel. Or fun facts, or whatever you want to call them. The guillotine was quick and painless, though, and didn't require any skill on the executioner's part, which made it easy to get rid of those rich snobs during the French Revolution. They would just run them to the guillotine and like an assembly line, or rather an assembly line. I don't have a guillotine, but I do have a sharp piece of metal that would run it through my body and chop. Out goes your head. Ha 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 ha. Well, come on, Cupcake. A decision must be made. Is there any chance you will just let me go? Anything in exchange for your life? Of course not, silly Millie. Feel like crying as the disturbing reality of her vision sinks in. However, you straighten yourself and think. If you were to avoid a blade, you could possibly use it to witch your way out of the stomach. Currently, you could hope the water breaks something on the bear's body that could cause it to malfunction. Lastly, you could always wait it out and will help arrive soon enough. Prepare yourself for a decision. Millie, are you still there? I'm not kidding. Of course you are. So, what is it going to be, silly Millie? A decision must be made. And this is where I'm going to save. Save right here. Yep, there we go. Okay, I choose to be beheaded. I choose to be boiled. I choose to be impaired. I choose to be left to starve. I feel like either way we're gonna die in some shape or form. But let's see. This is one of those things where you really gotta think about if you were forced to go out a certain way, which one would you choose? Because either way, it's going to be painful, but some are quicker than others. Bro, I feel like I'm going to be in some sort of watch list after this video, I don't know. That's just me, though. Anyway, I guess... I mean, I might go back to each option, so I guess... let's see... Beheaded, boiled, impaled, starved. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we get impaled in the Fazbears Fright story. I think we do. Actually, yeah, I think we do. I choose to be impaled. Impaling, huh? So you changed your mind. Amazing. I knew I liked you, silly Millie. I always felt impaling has had a dramatic flair. In the theme of the great Vlad the Impaler, I shall count to 3 in Romanian. 3, boy, 1 food. You hear a mechanical click before a large metal rod falls from the top of the stomach cavity at the alarming speed. You're only able to see it for a moment before hitting 1 of 4. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what actually happened in the story. Okay, let's load and then choose to be boiled. Okay. Boiling? Really? How exciting. I never boiled somebody before. You've picked a certainly morbid way to go, however. It is certainly a dramatic one. Boiling to death was usually reserved for prisoners, foreign foragers, and counterfeiters. But I can make an exception for you. I'll brace my inner executioner. Millie Fitzsimmons, you are hereby executed for crimes against humanity. You've been selected to death for crimes of humanity, crimes all humanity are guilty of, and all humans would be punished for provide, but they were in my belly. You'll hereby be boiled alive. Have fun! Ha 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 ha. Okay. Or begins sleeping into the chest cavity. At first, it's a nice cold temperature that makes you shiver, but it quickly rises and rises and rises. Ending 1 of 4. Interesting, okay. Technically, that's the second ending. Okay. I choose to be left to starve. Okay. I'll save the first option for after this. Starvation. Amazing. I knew you were morbid, but this is still surprising to me. It's an awful way to go. Now take these backseats. Don't take these backseats, of course. You can imagine an experience similar to being buried alive. There's a great story about a woman who once buried a relative, but was plagued with dreams that they were not, in fact, dead. After convincing enough people to dig up the grave, they found she had woken up and scratched the top of the coffin until her fingers were bloody stumps. The kings were so scared of being buried alive, they made tunnels in the graves in case they were to awake suddenly. So get comfortable. You're going to be here for a while. Alright. It's the third ending, technically. Okay. Choose to be beheaded. Really? Good choice. You won't be disappointed. Well, you'll be disappointed because you're dead. Millie Fitzsimmons, who have been sentenced to die for crimes against humanity, who are guilty of all the many flaws all humans possess, and must now be killed for it. So, in the spirit of the French Revolution, I will count down to 3 in French. 3, 2, 1, bon voyage. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's basically the entire game. Hold on. Yeah, because there wasn't really much to... Yeah, there really wasn't really much to the Count the Ways story, because you die regardless of what you choose. So, yeah, I suppose that's the end of the video. If you guys did enjoy today's video, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe for all post notifications, also never subscribe from me, and comment below. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.